As the Beatles approached the final chapter of their time together, the bond between Paul McCartney and John Lennon began to deteriorate. Tensions rose due to growing artistic disagreements and diverging views on how the band should be managed, both creatively and commercially. These tensions only deepened following the band's bitter breakup in 1970. Once close collaborators, Paul and John began taking subtle jabs at each other through their solo music. In December of that year, Paul took legal action by filing a lawsuit in the High Court to dissolve the group's formal partnership. The court ruled in his favor in March 1971, which further strained his relationships with the other former band members. Fortunately, time helped to mend old wounds. Paul eventually reconciled with all three of his former bandmates, including John. The two reconnected in the mid-1970s and even had a jam session together in 1974. They came close to reuniting on stage in 1976 when they were invited to perform as the Beatles on the American television show Saturday Night Live in exchange for $3,000. Though the performance never materialized, Paul later expressed that he was deeply grateful they had made peace before John's tragic death in 1980. According to Far Out magazine, Paul reflected that their final years together were filled with positive moments. Their last conversation, he recalled, was lighthearted. They even spoke about baking bread. John's murder in 1980 was a global shock and left a profound emotional impact on Paul. In response, he penned one of his most heartfelt songs, Here Today, which appeared on his 1982 album, Tug of War. The track served as a touching tribute to John, written as an imagined dialogue between the two, a conversation Paul wished they could have had if John were still alive. In a 1982 interview with the Los Angeles Times, Paul explained that when someone close is lost in such a tragic way, there's often a strong desire to have just one more day, to make amends, to say what really matters, and to ensure that person truly knew how deeply they were loved.